the thing. We all have stories. We all have messages of hope, inspiration, and transformation. And that's why I love being able to give people a voice. And you are going to move waves, as I say, Isabella. So thank you so much for sharing with us. Which takes me on to our next speaker. And I've just had a thought then what our next speaker was. I was like, Vikki, you know, because we have so much in common, the way that we want to be able to shift people within the world through their thought process. My mother was an alcoholic and died from alcoholism. Maybe people don't know that. But when you talk about it, you can actually shift, and you can actually shift vibrational energies, and you can actually give people hope that they can actually transform. And this is what Christine's done. She's transformed her life. Now, I'm not going to go too much into her story, but not only has she just transformed her life through just trusting her guidance and her inner instinct and her gut, then she's been able to transform other people's lives and actually keep them alive. And that's the thing, because when you actually follow your gut, when you actually follow your feelings, then that is how you are able to make a difference in the world. And this is the thing, be able to feel and follow your gut. So I now pass you over to Christine Wright for her to share her 8 minutes of hope, inspiration, and transformation with you.
Thank you so much, darling, for that welcome. And you are absolutely right. I am Christine Wright, and I am from a company which I formed last year called Habit Breaker. Now, I am what's known as a behavioural change expert. And the reason I class myself as a behavioural change expert is because I reframe people's minds, methods, and thinking of how they approach their unhealthy habits. Now, you're probably thinking, how did you get to that process? How did you get to that situation where you thought that's what you wanted to do in life? And Vikki's absolutely right. I found hope in 2019. That was January 2019. I found my inspiration in January 2019. And I found that I needed to transform in January 2019. Now, quite rightly so, as Vikki says, all these topics are what HIT Talks is all about. It's about hope, transformation, and inspiration. And on that night, it was this exact same night, January the 29th, 2019, that I had all those three things hit me like a ton of bricks. Now, again, Vikki said it again, why did this happen? Now, this actually happened because I listened to my instinct. I listened to my gut instinct. And this is something that is so incredibly powerful. And this is also something which we often dismiss, whether or not that's because of fear, whether or not that is because we don't trust our own judgment. But goodness gracious me, this is transformational. Our gut instinct changes lives. And the reason I can say this with absolute conviction is January 2019, I listened to my instinct, and that pull was there. And that pull was, I need to be somewhere else. I need to be somewhere other than where I am. And normally at that situation, I was in the exact situation. It was a routine thing. I'd taken my mum home. I'd normally have a coffee with her. And I had to say, Mum, I need to go. I don't know what it is, but I need to go. And with that, I drove home, not knowing why this pull was so strong. And as I was driving down this particular road, I noticed a chap to the right-hand side of me. I failed my driving test on my left and right, so I'm not very good with left and rights. But I noticed a chap to the right of me who seemed distressed. And I drove past him, and then that instinct came again, turn round. It was like a voice, just that turn round. You don't want to live with regret. So that's exactly what I did. And by that point, he was over a safeguard rail over a very, very busy motorway. Now, I literally leaped out of my car, pulled him over the right way of the rail guard, and I sat and cradled this Danny for the best part of 25 minutes. Now, in doing so, I listened to his story, I listened to him, we cried numerous amounts of tears, and I listened to him say, I'm worthless, I don't have any value, I've just lost my father, I'm the black sheep of the family, my relationship's just broken up, I haven't been able to keep my job. And obviously this was all amongst tears. Now, the really shocking part of this is I could completely understand everything that he was saying, every word he was speaking. And people say to me, Christine, you are his earth angel. And this is where I turn it on its head. He was actually my earth angel because he made me realize that there is hope. He made me realize that I had to transform myself, and he was my inspiration in doing that. And the reason he was my inspiration is because I too was like Danny. Danny was an alcoholic. I too was a functioning alcoholic, and I was just getting by. I had an incredibly successful global event floristry business, which took me all over the world. And I had a lifestyle where people thought, you know what, she's got everything together. But inside, I was emotionally crushed. And Danny turned it round for me. He made me realize that 20 years worth of my life in that industry had no purpose left. And that is why I chose literally 3 months later to close down my business and start Habit Breaker and start helping people transform their lives away from unhealthy habits like drinking. And the reason I wanted to share this with you is because no matter how painful things can get for us, no matter how much pain we go through, we can be somebody else's aspirin for their headache, regardless of us being absolutely on our last legs, so to speak. You know, we get up, we show up, we do the things. And in me listening to my instinct, in me realizing that this man had showed me hope, and in realizing that there's inspiration out there, we don't have to have our stuff together. We don't have to have it all together. But just by looking up and looking around, we can save so many people's lives without actually knowing it. And I say that wholeheartedly because, you know, all it can take is a smile. Just one simple smile where you are adding value to their life. You are adding emotion, and you are adding so much love. They might not have had a smile for a day, 2 days, 3 days. They might have felt so undervalued. And that is all it takes, particularly now with this, what's going on in the world. There's a lot of isolation. And all I'm asking you is be somebody else's aspirin, because listen to your instinct, listen to your gut, and just look up, smile, and you know, it's amazing. Thank you.
Be somebody else's aspirin. Now that is a first, Christine. Thank you. Be somebody else's aspirin. How amazing is that? And when you go back again and just listen to these inspirational messages, who is your earth angel? Are you an earth angel for other people? And when you think about it and you turn around, we all have earth angels. And if you don't feel that you've got an earth angel, you can always come into the Hit Talks community, because we have lots of earth angels in the Hit Talks community. So they'll be able to guide you with hope, inspiration, and transformation. But thank you so much for being that. I really like that saying. I've written it down. Be somebody else's aspirin. That's it. That's going to go on my wall. And give a smile. As I say, it never ever costs to give a smile. So thank you.